So you got this cool light for my birthday, and obviously there's it's one of those ones where it's like a 3D image that it projects like a, well, it's like a piece of plastic, and it looks like a 3D image. It's on that plastic. It's just pretty cool. But I thought, you know, what if we get a bit creative with this and we just change up the use of the product? And I mean, it doesn't really work that well. I mean, obviously it's quite bright outside, so it's taking away a lot of the impact of how good this will look. So you know what? I'll see what it looks like later on. But I mean, it's pretty cool because obviously you can like change like the color of it. You can see, you can make it strobe. It's pretty cool. Again, oh, you know, you can see it kind of. Yeah, it can strobe, it can fade. I mean, obviously if you want, you can just have it as different colors as well. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. Have it as white as well if you want. I know it's a pretty cool little light, which I mean you can implement it in different ways if you want. And I'm thinking about it. It might actually be a kind of a cool video to use this in something. But I mean, you know, that's not what this video is, so I won't think about that at the moment. But I'm just thinking, you know, it's pretty cool. Let's just have it on for this video. Why not just have it on fade? We'll leave it on fade while we do this video. Alright, so I'm back home now. I was in London for a couple of days for some business stuff, but while I was down there, I did learn that there are some things about what we're doing here that isn't so, not easy, but maybe just so obvious, which I mean, it's all right, you know, if you're not into the videos, pictures, all that kind of stuff, it's not something that you need to know. But I thought, why not make a video which could be actually kind of useful to what I learned about the knowledge that when I was there. I'll explain. I'm being a bit too ambiguous with this. I'll just show you sound basically. So when I was down there, there was a short period of time where I learned that capturing sound is not that easy, which it's understandable. It's one of the things where I feel like people don't think about it that much when they go into making a production or something like that. It's one of the things where you think, you know, image first because that's what you're seeing, but sound can be pretty important. I think we can all agree on that. So I thought, why not make a video today which just kind of shows you just how to capture better sound really than just having a mic like here or something, and maybe it doesn't come out the way you wanted. There are some little things you can do, and also the best type of mic for, I guess, home use, or if you're starting out in photography or videography. So let's go on with it. So if you were here in the beginning of this channel, the creation of it, you would have seen that you wouldn't have seen this lapel mic because I didn't use it, and obviously I use it now. It's pretty good. There's some things about this you need to understand as well, but that's later on. But yeah, obviously I didn't wear one of these. I used to use something, not this one specifically, but something like this. Now these directional mics are, I mean, they're pretty good. They're good for, I mean, any type of, I guess, on-the-go videography. You know, if you're outside, you're a vlogger or something, these are pretty good. You slap it on, you connect it to your camera, and you're good to go. Now a really cool thing about these mics is this whole foamy thing, this spongy thing, obviously it comes off. They're pretty cool because what these do, they dampen the sound. So if you're outside, it's windy, this will capture all of that wind, which you don't want. Obviously you've seen the ones that are the fluffy ones probably on like big productions, but I mean this one's just as good, kind of. And basically adding that on does really dampen the external sounds, and it will capture pretty well wherever it is pointing. So these are pretty good if you're on the move, you're on the go, and you don't have time for something like this, because also these harbour some issues as well, which I might as well talk to you about now. Okay, and here is the lapel mic. Now already you can see this compared to this in your bag, it's taking up a lot less space. So I do kind of prefer these a little more to that, just because, well, just convenience. But anyway, even though these are pretty convenient, they do have some issues, like I said, and I'll talk about that now. Alright, so as you can see, I'm wearing one to record my audio for this video, and generally it does a pretty good job. Now there may be one or two issues that you might notice once you go into editing, and they can be avoided, but it's one of the things where you need to do it beforehand. So obviously, as you can see, I'm talking to you right now, and let's say I'm in an interview with someone and I'm talking to them, and then just naturally, I didn't even know, it's just subconsciously, I just go for I'm talking, and then I just scratch like this, I just scratch myself. As you can see, and as you can probably hear, that did not sound good at all. So you got to think about where you're going to place it. As you can see, I placed it right here, and it can capture my voice pretty well just in this position. Obviously you don't go too high because then it's going to peak too much when you go back into editing. Also, you don't want the mic too low either, because this is what happens. So here is the mic if it's a bit of a distance away from me, and as you can hear, it's not as good quality as when it was here. Also, if it was somewhere like just in the middle of my body, so just middle here, I mean you can't see it, but like right there. So if it's in the middle of my body, so if I am talking and I'm in an interview, I'm talking to someone, and this is what the audio is capturing, it's not that good. I mean, you can hear it yourself. Also, for this video, I'm not going to do anything with the mic audio, just so I can give you a pretty raw image and idea of what happens to the mic in different situations. So this is what it's like if it's down here. So best thing to do is either have it here where it's pretty close to the mouth, but saying that, like I said, there might be that subconscious time where you want to itch, like, I don't know, your beard or something, I don't know, and then you rub against it and it just doesn't sound good at all. And if you do wear it on your coat or something, so it might be around here or something, and you're talking and it's on your coat, the sound is actually, it's not that bad. If anything, it's better than when it's here, because here it might just crack a little bit because you're so close. Here it's a good distance, and also if you do go to itch your face or something, look, it's still here and it's not affected. So ideally you'd put it there. I'm not wearing a jacket, and I don't wear a jacket when I'm inside my room, so that's why I put it here most of the time. So again, you could probably think ahead and maybe wear a jacket anytime you want to use one of these, but you know what, here is just fine as well. Also, one thing to factor in is where you're shooting. Now, as you can see, I mean it's not a small room, but I mean the ceiling's just there. I've got furniture in here, so sound is being absorbed and bouncing back off of things in this room, so it's not sounding too echoey, as you can hear right now. But if you go somewhere where it's a much bigger space and there's nothing in that room, I'm not talking about being outside, I'm talking about internal, inside a house or something, or inside a building. There's nothing in the room, so sound really is bouncing off of everywhere to get back to you. That'll sound a bit different, and it might sound something like this. Now compare the room I was just in to the room I'm in now, which is pretty much an empty room. I mean, there's like a chair, but honestly there's nothing in here. You know what, I'll show you. I was here at the tripod that we were just on, but I mean, yeah, as you can see, generally this is a really empty room. I mean, yeah, a radiator there, that chair there, but I mean the rest of the room is empty. It's quite big as well, so you can see that nothing is absorbing the sound, and the sound is bouncing off of everything. So as you can see from this room, the sound is literally bouncing off of every wall, and you can hear the echo literally coming from everywhere. So think about where you're filming, the location, and if there is anything to absorb the sound when you are filming. That is why you do see in studios, you see foam boards on the wall, because they are absorbing the sound. That's what you want if you've got a big space and you want to condense the sound a little bit. But let's go back to original me and carry on with the video. Now obviously the quality for the type of sound you'll get, it might vary on the brand you go for, possibly. I mean, in general, this is what I'm saying about these two specific mics. And again, you really could go for a different type of mic. You could get an external one that's shooting like a shotgun, which is up here somewhere. Obviously it's off camera, but it'll be facing you kind of in this direction, and it'll capture the sound this way. It just depends on what you're filming and how you want to film it. If you're in a podcast or something, ideally you don't want these. I don't think so. You might want something that's on a stand, because then it's out of the way of the person and you can still capture good sound. And obviously if your speaker on your podcast is moving about on the chair or something like that, this thing, I mean, it'll capture the sound when it's facing you, but then I say they're moving about and stuff, it won't capture it as well, because obviously this will not be facing them if they lean back on the chair, if they don't, you know what I mean? There's little issues about that, whereas if it's on a stand, it'll be here, and they will have that either that foam or that mesh kind of cover to dampen the sound. But by having it curved, you're also getting the sound from a couple different directions. So again, when thinking about what type of equipment you want to use to capture your sound, think about the use for it. Obviously I do a lot of, well, it's kind of changed a bit with COVID and stuff, but I used to go outside, do somewhat a little bit of running about, sometimes just going here and there, sometimes a bit far from the camera coming in. So you got to think about what is the best way for me to capture that. For me, ideally, it was that Rode mic that was on top of the camera, but now, like I said, I want to try and do some different stuff on the camera. I want to move about, which it wasn't that good for. This one is probably the best I can use at the moment, because again, I'm moving about, all that kind of stuff. Also, depending which one of these you get, in the little package, you might even get a little sound dampener for it. So if you are in a windy area and you're outside and you want to use one of these, you take off the foam head and you put on this little furry one, and then you're good to go. Generally, it won't be amazing, chances are, if it's really windy, but it's better than just having this foam one. So again, even if you've got one of these equipment, you can adapt it by other accessories for them to even better the sound that you're already getting. So I feel like I'm rambling on a little bit, but it's one of the things which is pretty important if you want to capture good audio. And in fact, if you just want to create a really good video, you need to capture the audio as well, because it's one of the things, audio and the visuals, to come hand in hand. You want one to be good, you don't want one to falter with that. So think about both. Think about what I've just said, and also, hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Now the sun keeps coming in and out and stuff, so the room gets dark sometimes in a little bit, and I'm looking at the screen, and it looks pretty good when it's dark. You know, if I just turn off this light here, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't look as impressive, because obviously you need the foreground as well. So I mean, hopefully, you know, later on, I mean, if I do like night shoots or something when it gets a bit darker or something, it will look a bit better. I mean, I think as a product, it's pretty cool, and I'm thinking, I might just get another one to just put behind there, behind the cards or something, maybe even behind the picture that I'm supposed to do, but I haven't done yet because I'm lazy. Just get another one there. I don't know. But I mean, people pay quite a bit of money for these, and you know what? It's pretty cool. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we're talking about audio in this video. I mean, lights as well. It's pretty important, but we'll do that in a different video.